31,000 years ago, somewhere in the rainforests of Borneo, a child lost the lower part of their left leg. There was no hospital, no steel surgical tools, no antibiotics, and yet someone cut through skin, muscle, blood vessels, and bone without killing them. Then the impossible part happened. The child survived, not for a few days, for another 6 to 9 years, which means people had to stop the bleeding, keep the wound clean, feed them, move them through steep jungle terrain, and protect them while they healed. In a world where every calorie mattered, they spent years keeping alive someone who could no longer move like everyone else. Why? Why didn't ancient humans simply abandon the injured? For a long time, people imagined prehistory as a permanent survival contest. The strong hunted. The weak disappeared. If you could not keep up, the group moved on. The bones tell a different story. And it begins much earlier than Borneo. About 1.77 million years ago, an early human lived at Dmanisi, in what is now Georgia. By the time this individual died, nearly every tooth was gone. Not broken after death, lost while they were alive. The jawbone had healed and reshaped, showing they survived for years with only one tooth left. Try living without teeth before blenders, dentures, or supermarkets. You cannot tear tough meat. You cannot grind hard roots. Even ordinary food becomes a problem. Maybe this person found enough soft food alone. Brains, marrow, ripe fruit, anything requiring little chewing. But there is another possibility. Someone processed food for them. Someone pounded it, cut it smaller, or shared the softest parts. We cannot prove exactly what happened. But severe disability did not automatically mean immediate death, even nearly 2 million years ago. Then there is Shanidar. He was a Neanderthal who lived tens of thousands of years ago in the mountains of what is now northern Iraq. His body reads like a list of everything that should have ended a prehistoric life. He had a major injury around one eye, probably reducing his vision. His right forearm and hand were missing or severely withered. His leg and foot were damaged, giving him an abnormal gait. Growths in his ear canals may also have caused serious hearing loss. And somehow he lived into older adulthood. This was not someone who had one bad week and recovered. He survived for years while seeing less, hearing less, walking poorly, and using only one functional arm. That does not mean he was useless. He may have known the landscape better than younger people. He could have made tools, prepared hides, watched children, maintained fire, taught skills, or remembered where water appeared during dry seasons. That is the mistake modern people make when they imagine ancient survival. We picture value as one job: hunt the animal or become a burden. But a human group has dozens of jobs. A person who cannot chase prey may still repair a spear. Someone who cannot walk far may recognize medicinal plants. An older person may remember the winter that killed everyone who camped near the river. Strength catches dinner once. Knowledge can keep a group alive for years. And this is where care stops looking like charity. It becomes survival technology. Now go back to Borneo. The young person buried there did not merely survive an accident. Researchers found clean, angled cuts through both lower leg bones and extensive healing around the ends. That strongly suggests deliberate amputation. Think about what the people performing it needed to understand. Where to cut, how to control bleeding, how to clean the wound in a tropical environment where infection should have been a constant threat. Then came the recovery. For weeks or months, the patient may have been unable to move independently. Someone had to bring water, someone had to provide food, someone had to clean and dress the wound, keep them warm, and protect them from infection. This was not one heroic doctor. It was a group project. And the patient did not simply survive. They lived long enough for the bone to remodel completely, then received an intentional burial. The group saved them in life and treated them carefully in death. That changes the question. Maybe ancient humans did not keep injured people alive despite living in a brutal world. Maybe they survived that world because they kept one another alive. Humans are strangely dependent animals. A horse can stand and walk shortly after birth. A human baby cannot even hold up its own head. Our children require years of feeding, carrying, teaching, and protection. Pregnancy and birth can leave adults vulnerable. Injuries happen constantly, illness removes strong hunters without warning. A species built around abandoning anyone who became dependent would eventually abandon almost everyone. Care was not an optional moral upgrade added after civilization. Dependence was built into the human life cycle. And once groups became good at caring for children, the same abilities could extend to injured adults, disabled people, and the elderly. Bring food. Share warmth. Slow the pace. Remember who needs help. Learn which treatment worked last time. Pass that knowledge forward. That last part matters because an injured person can become valuable in a new way. Someone who survived a broken leg knows what healing looks like. Someone who lived through infection may recognize the first signs. Someone who can no longer hunt may have more time to teach children, shape tools, prepare food, tell stories, or notice patterns others miss. Care preserves information, and humans survive by storing information inside other humans. A tool can be replaced. A person who knows 20 water sources, 3 migration routes, and which mushroom kills you cannot. This does not mean prehistoric life was gentle. People fought. Groups competed. Injured individuals were certainly abandoned sometimes. Archaeology cannot show every decision, and a healed skeleton cannot tell us whether care came from love, duty, usefulness, status, or all of them at once. But it destroys the simple picture of ancient humans as creatures who valued only physical strength. Some of the oldest bodies we have show that people made room for difference. They adjusted. They shared. They waited. And sometimes they performed an operation that should have been impossible, then spent years making sure the patient stayed alive. Look at modern life and the pattern is still here. Hospitals, disability aids, sick leave, family care, emergency services. They look modern, but they are built around an ancient decision. When one person falls, the group does not automatically keep walking, because tomorrow the person on the ground might be you. That may be why care survived evolution. Compassion feels personal, but its effects are practical. A group that protects experience, knowledge, children, and temporarily injured members keeps more of itself intact. The strongest human was never strong enough to survive alone. The group was the strength. So why did ancient humans keep injured people alive? Not because survival had become easy, because survival was too hard to waste a person. Nearly 2 million years ago, someone with almost no teeth kept eating. A severely injured Neanderthal lived into old age. 31,000 years ago, a child survived an amputation in a rainforest and lived for years afterward. None of them survived because the ancient world was merciful. They survived because someone else was.